So good noon, everyone, and welcome back to PPS lab sessions. In previous lab session, we worked on initial programs, program number 1 to 7, right? Where we have taken a few inputs from user, so scanf, and then we have worked on the process that we want to perform some calculations and then printed the output using printf. So initial programs from 1 to 7 was a very basic one. Now, just today in our lecture, we have looked upon the control structures. And in that, we have seen if else if ladder, nested if, and switch case. So using those control structures, you can move ahead in your experiment list and you can do your programs from 8 to around 14. Up to 14 you can complete your programs if you are aware of control structures, conditional branching statements. So let us discuss these definitions once, so everyone will be clear what it is asking you to do. After that, I'm going to show you 1 or 2 programs as always, and then you'll have your time to do all these programs one by one. So your 8th program, it says write a C program to find that the accepted number is negative or positive or 0. So here what you need to do is you take one number from user, so scanf. Once you have that number, you write 3 if statements. If given number is less than 0, तो आप आउटपुट में प्रिंट करोगे नंबर गिवन नंबर इज नेगेटिव. इफ दूसरा इफ लिखोगे इफ नंबर इज ग्रेटर देन 0, तो आप प्रिंट करोगे गिवन नंबर इज पॉजिटिव. थर्ड इफ यू विल राइट इफ नंबर इक्वल्स टू 0, double equals to 0, then you'll print given number is 0 message. So this 8th program is all about if statement, only if statement, no else. Okay, very simple. Have 3 times condition and 3 different messages. Then the 9th program says write a program to read marks of a student from keyboard. So simply you ask total marks of a student, and then you simply print whether student is pass or fail. So it says using if else. So definitely you can say, let's say if marks are greater than 40, then it pass, otherwise it fail, it is fail. So using if and else, very simple part. Take mark of student and then have some condition. If those marks are greater than 40, pass, else fail. Simple. Now if you want to make your program somewhat a little bit bigger and somewhat a complex one, then what you can do is you can take 5 different subject marks, make a total, find a percentage, and then based on that percentage value you can print pass or fail. It depends on you what you want. अगर यूजर के पास से डायरेक्ट मार्क्स लेके चेक करना चाहते हो फिर भी चलेगा. If those marks are less than 40, fail, greater than 40, pass. Okay, so 9th program is using if else. Now 10th program is using nested if else. So let's see what is the definition. It says write a C program to read 3 numbers from keyboard. ठीक है, आपको 3 नंबर यूजर के पास से गेट करने हैं, and then it says find out maximum out of these 3. So from those 3 numbers, using nested if else, you have to find out the maximum number. Now you'll find the logic behind this one, algorithm or a flow chart, in our unit 1 discussion. हमने वहाँ पे 3 नंबर में से मैक्सिमम नंबर या मिनिमम नंबर फाइंड करने का लॉजिक देखा था, फ्लो चार्ट भी देखा था. If you compare that flow chart here, then it is nothing but nested if else, nested conditions. I'll show you this program because 8th and 9th is very easy. I'll show you the 10th program, how you can nest if else. Before that, let us discuss all these programs here. So, okay, now 11th practical says write a program to check whether the entered character is capital letter, small letter, whether it is digit or a special character. So यहाँ पे आपको क्या करना है? You have to take one character from the user. So scanf में %c करके एक character ले लो. Then you have to check whether that character is capital letter, it's a small letter, or it is a digit, or it is a special character. Now here you are going to write some conditions, but those conditions will be based on the character ASCII value. So I'll show you this program also, because there is something that you need to know how you can test or how you can check ASCII values. Okay. Then 12th program says write a program to read marks from a keyboard, and your program should display equivalent grade according to the following table. So okay, if grades are in between 80 to 100, then distinction. 79 to 60, then first class. 59 to 40, then second class. Now here you need to go for else if later. Okay, if let's say whatever marks you have taken, if marks greater equals to 80 and less equals to 100, then you print distinction. Else if marks greater equals to 60, less equals to 79, then you will print first class, and so on. So else if ladder you are going to create here. 13th program is very much simple. I don't understand why it is here. It says write a C program to prepare a pay slip using following data. So actually you need to ask the basic salary. You need to take basic salary as a input. Now from this basic salary, you will calculate 10% of basic will be DA, DNS allowance. 7.5% of your basic will be the HRA, house rent allowance. Then medical allowance is fixed, 300. And the PF, Provident Fund, will be deducted, and it will be 12.5% of your basic. So what is the equation? Equation is already given. Gross salary will be the basic plus DA plus HRA plus medical allowance. When you add all these things, you'll have a gross salary. Now from this gross salary, when you deduct PF portion, you'll have a net salary. So it's simply the basic calculations, nothing else. Even no if else will be required here. You take basic as an input, do all these calculations and print it. That's it. Okay, so that's your 13th program. And the 14th program that is possible to do today is you read some number that will be in between 1 to 7, and based on the given number you print a relative day, whether it is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday up to Saturday. So when you have multiple options and you want to go for single one, better way to do this is using switch, right? So I'm going to show you this also. So let us do three programs today, 10, 11, and 14. I'm going to show you 3 programs, and then I'll give you your time to complete all the programs starting from 8 up to 14. Yeah, so let's have a look at this one first. Okay, so I'm going to create that program online. As you all know, we'll be using these things, these online editors for a while. And let's work on this one. So what it says, write a program to read 3 numbers. So we'll require 3 numbers first. I'm going to work with integer numbers only. So let us have integer A, B, and C, 3 numbers declared. 3 variables are declared. Then let us have those 3 numbers. Before I scan, I'm going to have a proper message here. So please enter number 1, and then we'll have scanf read integer number, so %d, comma, ampersand, and I'm going to store my first number in A. Okay, so I've taken first number. Now simple copy and paste 2 more times. Second message will be please enter number 2, that goes inside B, and the third one please enter number 3, and that goes inside variable C. So we have taken those 3 numbers. Now we want to find out maximum out of these 3. And the logic behind this is you compare your first variable A with, let's say, B. Okay. So if I want to compare it, then I need to have if condition. If A is greater than B, then I'll do something, else I'll do something. Okay. So this is the first syntax that we have written, if else. If condition, if block, then else block. So if A is greater than B, then here I can decide that A is larger. At this place I can decide B is larger. From given 2 numbers A and B, A और B आपके पास 2 वैल्यूज हैं, तो आप इतना तो डिसाइड कर सकते हो कि दोनों में से बड़ा कौन है, A is larger or B is larger. Now whichever you found as a larger one, you are again going to compare that larger number A with the third one, C के साथ कंपेयर करोगे उसको. अगर A larger value है तो A को C के साथ कंपेयर करो, अगर B larger value है तो B को C के साथ कंपेयर करो. So if I want to compare, again I will require if, and I can also have else. So now you can see that I have nested this if else inside my if block, and I'm going to nest another if else at this place, and that another if else is nested inside else block. Okay, and again with this condition, if A is larger, so you can say A is larger, otherwise here you can say C is larger. At this place you can say B is larger, or at this place you can say C is larger. Now that's what you can decide. But once you are done with all the comparison, you have compared A with B, you have compared A with C, then at this place you can always say that A is the maximum value. Maximum value is, and I'm going to print a value %d from variable A. So यहाँ पे मैंने A print किया, यहाँ पे मैं C print कर सकता हूँ because C is larger. Similarly, at this place we will print B because we found that B is the larger value, and at this place again we will print C because we found that C is the larger value here. And that's it. Now this was the logic, and this program is to understand nesting structure, nesting of control structures. So let us save this is the 10th program. Okay, let me save this as a PPS subject. This is C batch and the 10th program. Simply I saved that code, and then let us run it with a C language. So when I run this program, it is going to ask me 3 numbers. So number 1, okay, let me give 6. Then number 2, let me have 3. And then number 3, let me have 8. Then it is going to tell me which one is my maximum number. Maximum number is 8. So it goes through this comparison. You have 6, 3, and 8. At first place, you are comparing 6 and 3. Now 6 is greater, so you come here and you compare 6 with 8. Now 6 is not greater, तो आप else part में जाओगे, 8 को print करोगे. That's the flow. Okay. If I again run this code and say and give some other numbers, let's say 2, 7, and 4, then it still gives me the largest number. Maximum number is 7. How? Let us find it out. At first place, it is going to compare first two number, 2 and 7. 2 greater than 7. False. ये condition गलत है, तो वो else में जाएगा. Where we found 7 is greater number. So now we are going to compare 7 with third number, which is 4. 7 greater than 4. Yes, it is true. So if के अंदर जाके वो b को print करेगा. b is 7. So we have printed that value. Right? So this one is the nested if-else structure. Let me have a look at the chat box if you have gone for any queries. So no queries, fine. Let's have a look at the next program now, where I want to show you this one, 11th program. We need to work with character and some conditions. Now you can have a character comparison also, and you can go for ASCII value also. I'll show you both the ways. So let us create a new project. Let me save and then create a new project. Yeah. And we are working on 11th program. What it says, sorry, this is what PPS-C-Batch-11. Okay. So what is this? It says you take one character from user. So let us have one character first. I'm going to work on character database, data type, and C. Then we'll print one message. Please enter a character. And let us take that input. Now here what you can do is you can use getChar also, or you can use scanf with %C and %C is your variable. Now the easiest way is you can go for if. Okay, you can go for if, and you are going to check your character C, whether your character C is greater or equals to small a. I'm going to combine my another condition here. At the same time, my character C must be less than or equals to small z. Now this must be the condition. Starting from small a up to small z, that is the range. So small a से equal या बड़ा होना चाहिए आपका character, and small z से equal या छोटा होना चाहिए आपका character. Now if this is the case, you can say that given character is small letter, right? So you can print this message. Now what we can do is we can have multiple if statements here. यहाँ पे मैं रख सकता हूँ capital A से लेके capital Z तक अगर मेरा character है, then it is a capital letter. Then I can say that if it is from 0, look, now this 0 is character 0. Remember, single quote, and inside that single quote I have written 0. So from 0 to 9, then it is digit. And if none of these conditions are true, then what I want here is I want to tell that this is a special character. This is what I want to print. So we have number of conditions and we want to perform all these conditions check. If not, then last we want to print this one. Now in this case, we may go for else if later. Okay, else if this, else if this, else your last option. So what I'm going to do here is I'll take one character and then I will check whether that character is between A to Z, small, capital A to Z, capital, 0 to 9 character, then digit. Otherwise, it's gonna be the special character. So just let me check the else if later. Okay, here it is not said that you need to go for else if later. What you can do is you can go for nested if else here, or you can use else if later, whatever you want. You can use nested if else, or you can use else if later. Nested मैंने already दिखा दिया एक बार. Let us use else if later so you can understand that process and you can do this 12th program also. So this is else if later, and now if I run this program, it is going to ask me to enter one character here. If I say simple f, normal, small character f, then it says it's a small letter. Okay, let us run this program one more time and let me give capital H. So it says it's a capital letter. If I run this program and enter some number, let's say 4, then it says it's a digit, right? And if I enter some special character, anything here, for example, let's say #, then it says it's a special character. Anything that is not small character, capital letter, and the digit, anything which is not from these 3 cases, everything will be considered as a special character at last. So it's a special character. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you is, okay, you can always test. If you don't know what is the ASCII value, you can test it by simply printing a character in integer form, small a. Okay, so let me have, this is small a, and I'm going to have it in a new line, and then I'm going to show you all those things. Small z, capital A, capital Z, 0 and 9. These many things I want to print. So Z, we are just checking what are the ASCII values for all those letters. So I'm printing those letters as an integer here. Right? Multiple new lines. And let's save. Now this is just for your information, need not to write in your final program, but I wanted to show you those things, so let me print it here. As you can see now, small a is equivalent to 97 decimal number. Now that is actually the ASCII value. Small z is 122. Now this is the range, 97 to 122 is the range of your small letters A to Z. You add 26 to 97, it will give you 122. Then capital letters are having range from 65 to 90. Okay, starting from 65, capital A, then 66 is capital B, 67 is capital C, and so on. You go up to 90, that will be small, capital Z. And the digits are, look, character digits are in between 48 to 57. And anything beyond this range will be considered as a special character. Okay. So here you can compare, I just want to show you, you can compare this with numbers also. Instead of comparing single small character A, you can also say 97 here. Yeah, I need to terminate my program first. And 97 and 122. I can also compare a character with numbers. Still, it is going to work. Let me show. Let me run this code and give a normal character here. Small character F. Then it still gives me small letter. Small letter मतलब ये वाला printf. क्यों? क्योंकि ये condition true हुआ. Why that condition is true? Because small letters are having range 97 to 122. So you can also use numbers, or you can use simple characters in the comparison. Any questions? Just post in a chat box. Yeah, Vyom is asking what is double ampersand. Look, it's a conditional operator. Double ampersand sign is AND operator. We have already seen operators in second unit. Don't forget, double pipe, vertical lines, OR operator. Double ampersand is AND operator. Single ampersand is bitwise AND operation. So you need to be aware of those operators. AND operation is going to combine these conditions with AND, a logical AND. Sorry, the logical operator, not a conditional operator. This is logical operator. AND. So if this is true and this is true, then go inside. Otherwise, go to else part. So C is greater or equals to 97, and at the same time, C is less than 122. Then and then only I'm going to print this message. Otherwise, I'll go for the else part. Okay, clear now? Fine. Well, Sonu Kumar is saying no. Well, in what case you are saying no, Sonu? Well, if no further query, then let's have a look at the next program that I promised. I'll show you one example of switch case also. So the 14th program, let us create here. So let's create a new project. Going to be the C, and this one is the 14th program for me. Now here what it says, write a C program that read a number. एक number चाहिए. Okay, integer. Let's call it day, because it's a day number, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on. So whenever you declare your variables, give it a proper name so that it will be self-explanatory what it contains inside. And then we'll say we'll go for printf, and we will ask user, please enter weekday number, and we'll scan that value. Scanf. It's gonna be integer, so %d, and we are going to store it in day variable, so ampersand day. So I've taken that value from the user. Now I want to have a switch case on this one, so we will use switch keyword. Then the syntax says inside this parenthesis you need to have expression. I'm going to pass my variable as an expression, and then we will have this curly braces. Switch expression. Now in place of expression I'm passing my variable here, and then in the curly braces we are going to have number of cases, case and some value, colon, whatever you want to perform. You can have printf statement, and don't forget to break your case. अगर break नहीं करोगे तो execution continue one by one सारे केस एग्जीक्यूट कर लेगा, हमें इस स्विच केस को ब्रेक करना होगा. Okay, and then we can have multiple cases like this way. So what will be the value? So यहाँ पे हम value बोलेंगे the possible value of this variable. It can be 1 to 7, so it can be 1. Okay, or I'll say that it can be 2, or we can say it can be 3, and so on. So likewise, I can create any number of cases. Right? So 3, then let's say 4, 5, 6. We require one more. So we call it 7. Sunday to Saturday. Now user might enter some different value also, and for that we'll have default case. Now default case must be at the end of your switch case, and in your default case अगर वो लास्ट में ही है तो उसको ब्रेक देने की जरूरत नहीं. अगर ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिखोगे तो भी चलेगा, बिकॉज इट इज लास्ट, इसके बाद खत्म ही होने वाला है स्विच केस. दैट्स इट. And what you can do here is you can print all those days. Okay. Simply I'm going to print those messages, nothing else. Thursday, then Friday, and Saturday. Now if it is not 1 to 7, then we will print a message here, invalid day number. Okay, so this is how you can write your switch case. Let me save this one. This is PPS-C-Batch and the program number 14. Okay, so as simple as that. You just need to understand the structure of switch case statement. Switch, then whatever condition you want to write, that is going to result in some numbers or cases, and those cases are defined here, and we may have a default case at the end. So we are going to ask user to enter a number. If that number is 1, we will print Sunday. If that number is 2, we will print Monday. If that number is 6, we will print Friday. And if that number is not from 1 to 7, something else, then we will say invalid day number. Let's check it out. We run this code, and it is going to ask us to enter a day number. If I say 3, then it gives me Tuesday, because 3 is what? A Tuesday case. If I run this program and let's say enter 9, then it is invalid day number, right? Now remember, when we entered 3, it prints Tuesday, and then the program ends. Why? Because when I go and check day, if it is 1, I'll go in. If it is not 1, I will jump to the second case. So day is 1, no, jump to the next case. Day is 2, no, jump to the third case. Day is 3, yes, you go inside this case. एक बार जैसे ही आप उसके अंदर जाते हो, आपने प्रिंट कर दिया Tuesday, we were having that message Tuesday, but after that I break this switch case. I'm going to break it. Now when I break it, it is going to complete this switch case. So it is not going to check all these portion, all the other cases वो check नहीं करेगा. वो क्या करेगा? Simply break it, go to the end, complete your program. अगर आप break statement नहीं लिखते हो, let me show you what happens if you do not write these break statements. Let me remove those break. अगर आप break नहीं लिखते हो तो जो भी केस फुलफिल होगा वहां से एग्जीक्यूशन कंटिन्यू आगे बढ़ेगा एंड you'll have all the messages. So if this is the case and I run my program और यहाँ पे अगर मैं 3 देता हूं तो ट्यूसडे से लेके सारे मैसेज प्रिंट हो जाएंगे. So we have ट्यूसडे. अब ट्यूसडे के बाद मैंने ब्रेक नहीं किया तो वो एग्जीक्यूशन कंटिन्यू चलेगा. वो वेडनेसडे प्रिंट करेगा, थर्सडे प्रिंट करेगा, फ्राइडे प्रिंट करेगा, सैटरडे प्रिंट करेगा, इनवैलिड डे नंबर भी प्रिंट करेगा. सो वी हैव ऑल दोज मैसेजेस एट दिस प्लेस. So this is the reason, don't forget to break your case. You can omit break. Break compulsory नहीं है. As per your need, आप break को हटा भी सकते हो. But better way is to have those break statements always. Okay? So you should have your break statements always. Now just alignment, that does not matter. Just to have a proper alignment and I can understand this is where I can end. So have those things. When you are writing your program, make sure that you are going for this kind of indentation. This is called indentation. When you start a block, तो वो block के अंदर जितना भी आप लिखते हो उसको एक tab, one tab space दे दो. When I start a new block, तो relative to that place मैंने दूसरा tab दे दिया. So at this place I have 2 tab spaces. Now that using this one I can easily understand, okay, this much part is within main, this much part is within switch, and so on. So whenever you start your block, have some proper indentation. Well, that's it. So now if we run this code and give some number, it is going to give us a proper day. 6th day is a Friday. Well, so that was a switch case. Now, if you have any queries, let's have a look at it. Yes. So Viraj is saying ASCII value ma number 1 or 2 digit maj ave. Look, number 1 or 2, if that number is as a character, then it is a digit. As a character, you are considering 1 or 2, then its ASCII value is going to be within the range of your numbers, 48 to something. But if that 1 is as a digit number, integer digit, then it is a digit. उसकी कोई ASCII value नहीं होगी. ASCII value आपको character की ही मिल सकती है. So, am I clear, Viraj? Yep. Okay. Another question from the same Viraj is, sir, આમાં સ્વિચમાં યરના પ્રોગ્રામિંગમાં તો કેટલું મોટું કોડિંગ થાય? The યરનું પ્રોગ્રામિંગ means what? What do you mean by યરનું programming? Well, whenever you want to perform something, think about a proper logic. Okay. Maybe whatever you are trying to say, your new programming, you can yeah, like Sunday to Saturday emerge year ma 1 to 2001 2002 every રીતે. Yeah, well, but in that you need to find out a range. Look, we have limited days in a week, 7, that is fixed, so we can use switch case. But if you do have infinite range, तो फिर आप switch case नहीं लिख पाओगे. कितने case बनाओगे? It's not possible. So in that case, you have to think about different logic. कुछ अलग logic बनाना पड़ेगा. The same way, like Yeah, another question is, Hers is saying, why to write these case when we set range like Saturday, Sunday? Look, you can set a range in numeric values. Okay, you can set a range for characters also, but you cannot set a range for string values. So Sunday, so आप ऐसा नहीं कर पाओगे डे ग्रेटर इक्वल्स टू संडे एंड डे इज लेस इक्वल्स टू सैटरडे, तो वो बीच में आ गया, ऐसे रेंज फिक्स नहीं कर पाओगे. हर्ष, I'm answering your question. You cannot have a range of strings. You cannot define those string conditions. And one more thing, yeah, you can define some ranges 0 to 9, but आपको चेक करना है कि वो exactly कौन सा नंबर है. Then we need to have a cases. आप रेंज डिफाइन कर सकते हो if within this range true, outside of this range false. लेकिन true केस में भी कौन सा डे, अगर वो आपको चाहिए then you need to go for cases. Sonu Kumar is saying single print नहीं कर सकते हैं. Well, how can you have a single printf where you want to display different messages? एक बार आपको संडे चाहिए तो दूसरी बार आपको मंडे चाहिए, तीसरी बार आपको ट्यूसडे चाहिए. अगर अलग अलग मैसेज चाहिए तो आप एक एक प्रिंटफ कैसे लिख सकते हो? राइट, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल विद अ सिंगल प्रिंटफ. एंड अनदर थिंग, ये सारे केस अलग अलग हैं. यहाँ पे आपने केस को ब्रेक कर दिया. अगर प्रिंटफ एक ही लिखा है, दूसरे केस में प्रिंटफ है ही नहीं, तो वो एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं होगा, आपको कुछ मैसेज ही नहीं दिखेगा. So every case should have their own printf statement. One more thing, let me clarify. ये program जो हमने बनाया, it is not exactly to make this decision. It is to understand the switch case. Switch case समझने के लिए हम ये कर रहे हैं. There are multiple ways of achieving this thing. डे नंबर के हिसाब से आप डे का नाम प्रिंट कर सकते हो. There are multiple ways to do this thing. We are using switch case because we want to understand switch case here. Switch is a keyword, case is also a keyword, and then you'll have some values. Okay. There are ways to short this program in length. Well, what do you say, Hers? Is there any way to short this program in length? Okay, so by looking at your program length, you say that there are a number of lines to write. Well, as I said, just if you want to decide based on a number which day it is, then there are multiple other logics you can apply. Viraj is saying 30 to 50 case hoy to another way is available. Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to think for different logic. आपको कुछ अलग logic सोच के अलग solution लाना होगा. But when you have a limited set of cases, you can use switch case. अगर 30 to 50 केसेस हैं तो स्विच केस में मत जाओ, कोई अलग लॉजिक ढूंढो. ठीक है, बट मान लो कि 15-20 केसेस हैं तो आप स्विच केस में जा सकते हो. स्टिल इफ देयर इज अनदर लॉजिक पॉसिबल, यू मे गो फॉर इट. लेकिन अगर आप चॉइस बेस्ड जा रहे हो, ठीक है, आपने अगर यूजर के पास से चॉइस मांगा है तो फिर आपको कंपलसरी स्विच केस लेना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज बेस्ड ऑन अ चॉइस यू विल परफॉर्म सम केस. So switch case is most useful when we want to ask user to enter some choice, and based on the given choice value, we want to perform something. Clear? Yeah. So I've shown multiple programs. 10th, 11th, and 14th program I have created in front of you. Now it's your turn. Start from 8th practical and try to cover as many programs as you can by end of this session here. Okay, so now you go and create your programs. If you feel there is any difficulty or problem, you may ask me. We'll solve that error. आपको क्या करना है? 8th program is only if, no else. 9th and 10th, 9th program is if else. 10th program is nested if else. 11th program can be done using nesting or can be done with else if ladder. 12th program is else if ladder. 13th program doesn't require any if there, simple calculation. And the 14th program is based on switch case. So that's what our target is. Do all these programs now. I'm going to stop this recording. So we don't want unnecessary recording part here. You start your programs and one by one, try to complete it. Now, before I stop the recording, please post your enrollment numbers in a chat box so that your attendance will be recorded here. And yeah, post your enrollment numbers in a chat box. And simultaneously, let me answer the question of Vyom. Why break is not after the default statement? Look, default statement is at the end. Okay. After default, there is nothing. By the way, it is always going to end this switch case. That's why I haven't written break. फिर भी अगर आप break लिखना चाहते हो, लिख सकते हो. You can write break statement after default also. There is no problem. Okay. But as long as default is going to be the last case, last in my switch case, मैं क्यों अलग से break statement लिखूं जबकि उसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है? Fine. So that's why it was not written. And let me tell you, default must be at the end of your switch case. Do not write default somewhere in between. अगर आपने default case को बीच में लिख दिया और आप बोलोगे कि सर उसके साथ में break भी कर दूं, if you do this way, then let me show you what happens. When you run your code, it gives you the error. Yeah, okay, multiple. Let me remove this one, last one. So let us save and let us run. So if you do have single default statement, then it is not going to give you the error. But what problem occurs? Let me show you that thing. Let me give input value 5. Oh, it works. Well, in some cases, this depends on the compiler and executor. In some cases, in Turbo C might be, it will be executing default because day is 5. It is going to check, is it case 1? No. Is it case 2? No. Is it case 3? No. Is it default? Then it is going to execute this default and complete your program. That is what happens in some compilers and executors. Well, this online compiler is working properly. It is not going for default case. It is first checking all the cases and it gives me the proper output. But that's not going to be the case for all. And that's why we should have this default case at the end. And if you are writing default case at last, then need not to have this break statement also. And this is a proper way of coding, okay? So I think Vyom, I've already shown you what happens if we write default in between. You test it out. अगर किसी के पास turbo C है तो वो check करे. Default बीच में लिख के एक बार check कर ले. Yeah. So now you go and complete your programs. I'm going to stop this recording.